Hello, my name is Michalak and I'm a dietitian and food lover. In today's video, I will introduce you to the two healthy sleeping positions that will keep your back and neck from hurting. I will also mention which position is the most harmful and which one we should therefore avoid. The first suitable sleeping position if we want to wake up in the morning without back pain or neck pain is sleeping on our back. Laying on our back is the most beneficial for our spine. This is due, among other things, to the fact that in such a position we relieve the strain on our muscles and joints, which are relaxed. In addition, our body weight is distributed evenly and no part of the body is crushed. By this I mean that there is no pressure on any particular part of the body. Of course, it is necessary to remember the correct positioning of the head. That is, we should fit the right pillow. Both a pillow that is too thin and a pillow that is too thick will cause our head to be tilted too much. The pillow is placed under the head to stabilize the cervical section of the spine. We should choose the size of the pillow so that the cervical section forms a straight line with the rest of the spine. This promotes the relaxation of the spinal muscles, provides them with rest, and relieves pain. At the same time, I would add that excessive tilting of the head from side to side should be avoided. When choosing to sleep on our backs, it is a good idea to place our hands on our pelvis while sleeping. This will allow us to maintain the most healthy position for our shoulders. Moreover, we can put an additional pillow on the pelvis beforehand and only then put our hands. This way will be even more effective for relaxing the shoulders. If placing the hands on the pelvis is uncomfortable for us, then we should keep the hands loosely along the body. It is a mistake to put them under the head or under the lumbar spine. I know from experience that when our loins hurt, we reflexively support them with our hands while sleeping. However, this only brings an apparent feeling of relief. In reality, we aggravate the problem. As for the legs, on the other hand, it is best that they are straight and not bent sideways. Here I will also add that if you are struggling with back pain, it is good practice to put a pillow under your knees, and in this way slightly bent knees will help relieve the pain. We can also put a small roller prepared from a towel, for example, under the loins. This treatment will help support the natural curvature of the spine and minimize pressure in the lumbar region. However, I would like to point out that sleeping on the back may not be ideal for everyone. I am primarily referring to people struggling with sleep apnea. And this is because when the tongue and soft tissues in the throat relax during sleep, gravity pulls them down toward the airway. For such people, sleeping on their side will be more beneficial. And now I would like to move on precisely to this position. If you are among those who do not like and cannot imagine sleeping on your back, there is another position that we can also consider suitable. I am referring to sleeping on the side. If we position our body properly on the side while sleeping, we should not feel pain in this position either. By adopting the position on the side, we preserve the natural curvature of the spine and do not aggravate it. It is very important that our head and neck are in the same line as the spine. Therefore, attention should be paid to choosing the right pillow. If the pillow is too thin and soft, our head will slightly droop and be skewed downward. On the other hand, if we serve ourselves with a pillow that is too thick, then the head is elevated relative to the spine. Both the first and second situations cause us to wake up with neck pain. Speaking of sleeping on the side, it is worth taking care of the proper positioning of the legs on occasion. Namely, the legs are best bent at the hips so that the thighs form almost a right angle with the torso. That is, we try to sleep with the knees slightly bent upward. Keeping the knees bent helps balance and the body reduce pressure on the lumbar spine. In addition, it is good practice to put a fairly firm pillow between the joint knees. This simple way will help stabilize our hips and at the same time prevent our knees from buckling. It may also be helpful to place a small pillow or towel under the waistline to align the lumbar region. Another solution is to simply drape a towel around the waist. When sleeping on the side, the position of the chest is also important. Ideally, it should not be tilted, bent, or curled. It is the healthiest if the chest remains upright. The positioning of our shoulder and arm is also important. Well, we do not extend the shoulder and therefore do not stretch the arm on which we are lying as far forward as possible. On the other hand, in the case of the other arm, we can rest it on an extra pillow, which will provide relaxation for the shoulder. And here, as in the case of sleeping on the back, we do not put our hands under the pillow. Although this position very often seems comfortable to us, we then put unnecessary strain on the brachial plexus. If it is already known that sleeping on the side is a good sleeping position, then one more question remains: whether it is better to sleep on the left side or on the right side. Well, it is generally accepted that it is best to lie on the left side. The rationale given is that blood flow to the heart is improved in this position, and this is because the aorta bends to the left side. In addition, because the liver is positioned on the right side, sleeping on the left side helps relieve it somewhat. The position on the left side is also better for people who struggle with gastrointestinal reflux. Sleeping on the left side helps minimize the risk of heartburn. However, if we are mainly concerned about not being bothered by pain after sleeping, it is best to switch positions from one side to the other side while sleeping. Then we can counteract the perpetuation of curvature of the spine. Speaking of sleeping on the side, I have another comment. I know that often when our shoulder hurts, we just lie down on it. And this actually brings some relief while falling asleep. Unfortunately, when we wake up, the aforementioned pains will intensify and worsen our condition. Therefore, I don't recommend sleeping on the side that hurts us. The side sleeping position has benefits not only in terms of preventing back pain. It is also recommended for people struggling with gastrointestinal reflux, as well as those diagnosed with sleep apnea and those who snore. Sleeping on the side helps maintain airway patency. The side's position is also advisable for pregnant women. With that said, lying on the left side is particularly important. Two more words about the embryonic position, which is probably one of the most popular. This is a specific form of sleeping on your side in which you curl up in a ball, drawing your knees to your chest and tilting your head down. The embryonic position is not generally recommended. This position can aggravate shoulder pain. In addition, extreme curvature of the spine can increase tension and cause discomfort in the neck and back for some people. Hence, sleeping on the back or traditional side sleeping is much better. Let's now turn to the worst sleeping position, namely the least healthy and a common cause of back and neck pain is sleeping on the stomach. This position is an easy way to lead to lumbar pain, neck pain, and shoulder pain. And this is because when sleeping on the stomach, there is an unnatural twisting of the neck and the aforementioned lumbar region. This position puts the most pressure on the muscles and joints of the spine. Note that when sleeping on our stomachs, we usually turn our heads to the side. I don't think anyone or almost anyone sleeps with their nose pressed into the pillow, after all. And as you might expect, twisting your head while sleeping is not healthy. It's like having your head twisted to the left or right non-stop for 6 or 8 hours during the day while sitting or standing, for example. I don't even try to imagine this torture. Therefore, let's not condemn ourselves voluntary torture while we sleep. Moreover, a twisted head while sleeping on the stomach promotes vertebral artery strangulation and hypoxia. In addition, when sleeping on the stomach, it is very common to extend one arm downward and the other upward. This is an unnatural position that puts a lot of strain on the shoulders and can cause morning pain. What's more, people who sleep on their stomachs usually also curl their legs, which leads to improper pelvic alignment. It is also worth mentioning that when lying on the stomach, internal organs are compressed, which can promote digestive problems, including the backflow of stomach contents and the formation of heartburn. Given all this information, I strongly advised against sleeping on the stomach. And this is the case even if we don't feel the pain after sleeping through the night. Sooner or later, constant sleeping on the stomach will take its toll on our health. For those who choose to sleep on their stomachs, a certain convenience is to place a pillow under the hips and abdomen. In addition, those who use this sleeping position should choose only a thin pillow under the head. This is to prevent the lower back from collapsing into a U shape, making the spine out of alignment. If we have already mastered the technique of laying down to sleep, getting the right mattress and pillow is an additional help in preventing or alleviating back, neck, and shoulder pain. I still encounter the belief that a firm mattress is best. Unfortunately, this is erroneous thinking. Both a mattress that is too hard and one that is too soft prevent the spine from maintaining its natural curvature. So what kind of mattress should we choose? First of all, it should be adapted to our body weight. For those who are not familiar, I will say that many commercially available sleeping mattresses are marked with the symbols H1, H2, H3 or H4. And it is these symbols that refer to body weight. Namely, the H1 firmness mattress is suitable for people weighing up to 60 kilograms. H2 mattress is suitable for people weighing between 50 and 80 kilograms. The H3 mattress should be reached for people weighing between 70 and 110 kilograms. And the H4 mattress, on the other hand, is designed for people weighing more than 100 kilograms. At the same time, it is also worth taking care of the right pillow. I recommend using a certified profiled orthopedic pillow. It seems to be a small change, and believe me, such a pillow can significantly increase the comfort of our sleep. We should also remember that the way we stand up is important for the health of our spine. First of all, we should not rise abruptly. Before getting out of bed, it is a good practice to take a moment to stretch. This will give a positive boost to our muscles and joints. After stretching for a few minutes, it's best to roll over onto your side, support yourself with your arms, and put both feet on the floor at the same time. I think that with the issue at hand, the proverb fits perfectly and literally. As you make your bed, so shall you sleep. Let's remember that we spend on average 1/3 of our lives in bed and very often in immobility. Hence, the quality of our sleep has a significant impact on our health. By adopting an inappropriate sleeping position each night, we only perpetuate unfavorable changes in the musculoskeletal system. I hope that the advice from today's episode will significantly increase the comfort of your sleep, which of course I wish you. And that is all for today's video. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.